everybody. Welcome to the Otakucast post-show.
The show after the show.
Yeah, and if you're here,
Your family, because this is for patrons only.
thank you for being fucking awesome. We can swear now, and thank you for being here.
Well, we have to be able to swear because today's movie is motherfuckers.
MFKZ.
Well, it's literally not MFKZ in the title. In the actual title of the thing, it shows up motherfuckers.
Yes, it does.
But
now, this movie, I'm not gonna give my thoughts on it until we're done giving a summary of it. But it was a movie. What's that? Are you recording too, just in case, DC?
You're not muted. Yeah, I'm recording. You're not muted. No. Summary though of this film is, what the fuck? Also, luchadors punching Hitler.
Was it Hitler though?
Yes, it was literally Hitler. It was literally the whole point is that we'll get to it in depth, but it was the luchadors are guardians who each generation has a great battle, and it then cut to literally
I thought you were talking
Hitler.
about like this battle that the luchadors have. I'm like, there's no Hitler right now, but
no,
yes,
it was just a
Hitler.
hilarious scene of the SS officer standing in the corner being shocked with a luchador punching Hitler. It was hilarious, and it's inspired me. I'm gonna make my own movie, Luchadors versus Hitler, which is just gonna follow a bunch of luchadors and American wrestlers and like Polynesian wrestlers getting together to fight Hitler.
Sure.
I think it'll be hilarious.
If the Rock's included, you gotta have a time machine, so.
No, he can just play as his like grandpa.
But it'd be funnier if he played as himself.
No.
Yes, it would. I think so.
No.
But anyway, so this movie starts off with there's a woman running and she's holding a baby. Now this baby does not look human. Okay, it does not.
It's going to be very hard to describe this outside of saying that the baby is literally like it looks like a stick figure come to life, like a 3D stick figure. He's literally circle head, like jet black, giant eyes, black. like I'm not. He's literally like the color.
Not even like race, color.
This.
Yes, exactly. He's black. Yes. And his eyes are most of his face. But here's the thing, is that something that was never really explained, is that some people in this world look like people, and some are flaming skulls, and everyone's okay with that.
Oh, and one is a cat?
And the cat
doesn't wear clothes. And it's
Willie?
noted because Willie, the most annoying fucking character in the whole
he was really fucking annoying, not gonna lie, but...
Him.
Okay, so anyway, the woman's... she's being chased by pretty much like a gang.
No. She's being chased by the Men in Black.
The Men in... Well, and then there's one Man in White. But yeah, pretty much,
yeah. Their car literally says MIB.
Ah, I missed that detail.
Yeah.
Oops.
It's shown like 7 times. It says MIB. And yeah.
So there's a white suit, which I would refer to him as the white suit in the rest of my notes.
White suit,
that
black
he's the
eyes.
boss, and
he literally has like demon-possessed black eyes.
Yeah, and he's like the boss. And then we get a time skip. We will jump back to this scene a lot because they expand through the movie. Now the kid's grown. His name's Angelino, and he's a pizza delivery guy.
You kind of skipped over the fact that there was a dog that ate a dude's throat.
Oh, yeah, I did. There was...
Kind of important.
You're right.
That dog is very important.
Yeah, I kind of did skip that. My bad.
The mom's being attacked by these guys, and this dog just shows up and bites a dude's throat out.
When I first saw the dog,
tongue.
When I first saw the dog, it reminded me of Van Helsing. You know that one opening where you see that demon dog like walking through the streets carrying. It looked like that.
Yeah, literally, dog has a tentacle tongue and kills dudes.
Yeah.
And so the character's grown up. His name is Angelino. He's a pizza delivery guy, and he's just talking about
he's 22.
22. He's in the city DMC, Dark Meat City, or if
which
you're
is
a
in
fan
California.
New California. And if you're literally freaking Los Santos.
Pretty much.
Did you notice that later they had the purple and the green gang?
Yeah.
It's freaking Los Santos.
It's Los Santos. And look, okay, the art style of this movie is really pretty, but at the same time, it's awful because it's made to be that way. It's made to be grungy and gritty and gross looking.
Do you remember Duckman from like the 90s, the cartoon Duckman. What about Dr. Katz? It
I
had
wasn't
a
allowed to watch
like
a lot of TV in the 90s. I had a super religious Bible thumping mother.
it's if for anybody who doesn't know, it's very much like the adult cartoons from the 90s. And by adult, I just mean literally for adults. Not they're like Duckman was very adult content, and like Dr. Katz, but those sort of the review, the cartoon about the review host. He does, it's like with John Lovitz or
Phantom
whoever it is.
Ghost.
No,
No,
not that one. No, that's
I don't
not
know.
Space Ghost. No,
Space Ghost.
not Space
Coast
Ghost,
to
Coast. Yeah, no.
Space Ghost.
I'll show you. I'll show you a picture later, but you'll understand what I mean. What I'm saying. It's very 90s style.
So we pretty much see a little bit about the city. He's talking about the city. You got to keep your head down. Don't get noticed. Like, this is like the worst way big cities, slums could be. Well, not slums, but like the bad sides of town could be. If you're there, keep your head down. Don't get noticed. Just do your job. Don't talk to people, kind of thing. Because you will get killed. You will get shot. You will get, all those bad things that happen to you. Don't get involved. And everyone could kill you, pretty much. So, as he's driving down the road, he sees a pretty girl. Of course.
Who did not have the voice I expected later on. I just want to state that.
I watched the dub. Did you watch dub? Was there a sub?
There was only a dub. I could only find dub.
Okay, yeah.
So I sort of expected like a...
And he has this little inner monologue about love at first sight. And he gets hit by a truck.
Which was... he gets hit by a truck. He just goes home. Just goes home.
And he just walks home, and he's monologuing about the city, the luck, and, the people in it still. It's a really big, that's going to be like a big thing, is just honestly all the way back to the city every time, and how bad the people are, and how bad the city is. And,
because it's Los Santos.
Yeah, and he gets to the hotel that he's living with, and we have Skull Dude, which is Vin, which is Flaming Skull Guy. He's like, they're both like 3 feet, 4 feet tall, but where Angelino's like black, and not skin, not race, but actually the color, the absence of light.
Black. Yeah, and Vin is literally bone colored,
and he has a little skull. It's like a chibi Nicolas Cage.
I didn't like Vin's voice actor. I really didn't.
It wasn't great.
He had times
where
he was
Vin's
good.
character.
His voice actor had times where he was good, and then times where he was just, "Come on, man, we have to go get out of here. We need to get out of here."
Yeah.
Man. And I was just like...
I noticed that too.
Because Angelo's voice actor was great. He did an amazing job. I liked Angelo's voice actor a lot.
Angelino.
But
pretty much Angelino lost his job.
He lost his job. Because he freaking crashed the car. The little Vespa thing.
And he's like, we're 2 months rent on late. And then he has lent on rate. That's what I said. Late on rent.
Yeah, late on rent. And he goes to the shelf. He takes out some pet food. He opens up the pet food and pours it on the ground. And a swarm of cockroaches arrive because apparently he has pet cockroaches.
Those are his pets.
Those are his. This is really gross. And then he starts eating the dog food.
Remind me of Joe's apartment. Welcome to Joe's apartment.
No, I don't know.
You should watch. It's an older 90s movie, very 90s movie, where a dude has a bunch of intelligent cockroaches. It's weird. So he falls asleep and he has a dream.
He falls asleep. He has a horrible dream about.
But did you notice all the religious symbols? And he dreamed about the dog.
There's a cross. It was a pizza.
And then apparently these dreams are reoccurring for Lino.
Yeah, because he couldn't sleep, and he's like, I couldn't sleep. And then freaking Vino's like, well, maybe you should go to a doctor. Because you got hit by a car.
Yeah, you're right. And then the derpy-looking cat guy comes in. That is literally what's in my notes.
Guys.
This is Willie. He's cynical, and he's going on about terrorist and government conspiracies. And
it's the chemtrails. He sounds like, it literally sounds like Alex Jones. Like, oh, there's the chemicals in the water.
They're turning the frogs gay.
Apparently, it's the chemtrails are making everything crazy. There's a literal Nazi that took his door number down and put 666 snake on it.
Look, I don't know. So they want to go out
because they had to let the cat in because they were like, I think the Nazi's gonna kill him. And by literal Nazi, he has the swastika tattooed right here. Right on his shoulder.
Their neighbor? Yeah.
Yeah, their neighbor.
The big guy that.
Yeah, the big fat guy. Yeah.
Yeah, the big fat guy that's just really rude.
With the King Cobra.
Assholes, get her, keep it down. And then he gets what he gets later on. But we'll get to that.
There was 2 nice moments. Yeah, that was funny.
Hey, anyway, so they go and they're riding the bus, and Ben and Willie are like arguing, and the main character is just in his internal monologue again, lamenting about how much everything sucks. Yeah, and he sees like a character, and it's got like this shadow,
weird tentacle shadow,
little tentacle shadow.
Yeah, and he sees it, and he's like, "What's that?" And they're like, "What?" And he's like, "Don't you see it?" They're like, "No." And then he's like, "It was some tentacles." Like, he's like, "I think that the car did mess up my brain," and he's starting to think that he might have like a brain disease or something.
Yeah, and he's not feeling well.
They decide to go cool off, and then the cat's like wants to get froyo, and I just want to punch him in the face because anyone that says froyo, and it's just like, you deserve a punch in the face.
They go to what was it, Andino's Deli or something like this?
I don't know.
See this deli a lot, but the deli.
It's like a Mexican deli because they offer like chorizo and like other stuff. And so they go there.
The girl is there. She shows up.
She shows up, and so they decide to leave because
And Willie gets all weird. He gets kind of really creepy about the girl. Yeah, no, Willie does.
Oh, Willie, yeah, Willie's like, yeah, I could bang her.
Yeah, very gross, really.
He is a gross, horrible character.
He is.
That for some reason
as a woman who's had to deal with that kind of stuff.
Can we just talk about that? He's a gross, weird character that has gang connections.
Everything about Willie is nasty. Okay, look, he's a well-written character for the role he plays in the movie. He's well-written, but he's gross.
So they leave.
So they leave.
They get found. I'm trying to skip ahead because
there's a lot of stuff that happens, but
it's
so
not.
They see some dudes. They skip ahead and they realize they're being followed by some dudes.
So they decide to ditch them.
They try to lose them.
Oh, we're not being followed. They go to alleyway. They're like, we're not being followed. Then the guys like show back up and he's like, just turn the corner and ninja it. And then Willie screws it up because Willie screws up everything.
Yeah. And then like Lino like has this moment where he gets like super adrenaline and he throws a trash can at one of these dudes.
Yeah, his heart catches fire. He throws a trash can at him. He beats the crap out of him.
And then ninja kicks, runs up walls and stuff like that.
Doesn't matter. None of that matters because Vino steals the show with trying to help out by throwing a brick and utterly failing at throwing a brick.
He's like, I got you, man. I'll help out. And he just goes, and it just
sad.
2 feet in front of him.
Instead, he helps out by slamming a trash can, a literal dumpster, into the other guy by crash. Which, can I just say, that is the lamest dumpster collision ever, because they slam the 2 dumpsters, catch a guy in between it, but the dumpsters don't really make a satisfying thud. They just kind of
there's a dude in between them, there's a fleshy person.
I still want that impact. And the reason I bring this up,
have you ever heard the sound of a body trapped between 2 hard objects? That does not really. It just goes because there's a body in the middle.
No, I don't care about that. The reason I'm even bringing this up is because it was so dissatisfying compared to when the trash can hit him, and when the brick was thrown, and those had satisfying sounds. But then the dumpsters don't really have a satisfying sound. And the reason that this is important is because after that, they go back to their apartment. And this is
wait. There was a line I had to say. And Vino's like, did you grab his gun, dude? And Angelino's like, why would I grab his gun? This isn't GTA. Okay, now I'm happy.
Look, it's GTA the movie anyways. The literally GTA the movie. There's the yellow gang, the purple gang,
I would say more like
Saints
gang. Row the movie.
Kinda, because there's weird creatures
that
gets
weird.
Are not
it gets
up
weird
at all. There's a friggin' wrestler with a tiger head. He's literally King from Tekken, but nobody seems to I don't understand. One dude's literally a demon. I don't understand.
Just go with it, my dude.
I have so many questions.
Roll with it. Just let it happen.
The problem is why it's not explained.
You don't need a why. Okay,
we get an explanation on freaking Angelo. Why don't we get an explanation on Vino? Why is a skeleton alive?
Because he's not the main character.
I guess. Anyways, they go back to their apartment and they're They've got
Lino makes a wish. He wants
got,
to be somebody.
Yeah, they've got my first favorite character when they go back to apartment, which is Latino gangster on a bicycle. Freaking loved that. That's first favorite character. He's just a Latino gangster with 2 teardrop tattoos, like full on like Latin gangster. And he's got like a Huffy bike. He doesn't even have like a good bike. He's got like a cheap Walmart bike, and that's why I thought it was funny. Cause dude has 2 teardrops. He killed 2 people. That's like in gang culture, confirmed. 2 kills. Dude doesn't even get a good bike. So I was just making like my own little story.
Times be hard.
My own little stories. He's like riding this bike, and he's just like, "This is a bunch of bullshit. You know, I don't even get like a car. They got me out here on a bike. I gotta do patrol on this like crappy ass apartment complex. Why does our gang have to have this crap apartment complex?" And he's just like, "I got the crap duty." He hears some noises. He's like, "All right, some dude's rolling up on our territory. Get my gun out." And then he just gets shot and killed.
The Men in Black are back.
The Men in Black show up with their police force of white masked, like little holes in the eyes.
With their SWAT gear, and they pretty much raid the apartment complex.
They beat on they start shooting into. I hear your kids yell. They start shooting into like the apartment complex, and Nazi dude just opens up the door. And he's like, "I told you guys!" And they're just like, and I was just like, "Yay!"
Wrecked him. I was glad he got it. Yeah.
Screw that guy.
Yeah, like that dude was weird. And
then we get.
Sorry.
Then we get like. They start like busting in the apartment. Angela like throws a couch up. They do a fight. There's a grenade that gets dropped.
A couch would not protect you from those bullets that were punching right through. Lino should be dead.
Look, all I gotta say, Lino gets a hold of a gun, kills one of the cop dudes, and I'm just like, "Hey, dude, you blood in. You're blood into the gang now. You got revenge. You're blood in. You're a gangster now."
Well, he also gets a can of hairspray and a lighter before he gets the gun.
It was roach spray.
Oh, was it roach spray?
It was roach spray, and he uses the fire.
There's like a grenade. That was honestly a really interesting. I really enjoyed that scene.
Yeah, it was a good scene. There was like like the cops ended up having to he threw pizza at the cops, so like the cockroaches like just swarmed him, and then he shot like they were shooting everywhere, and like a fridge from the apartment above falls down. And I just remembered I was trying to like look at what the heck was on the fridge, because all I remember it said like gay, and I was like, wait, what? I was trying to figure out what the heck was that, but it's like cut off, and I'm like, what sticker is that?
I was more concerned about the one cop that Angelino's bullet just shattered his mask,
and he's got the Angelino's face,
the same skin tone and the same eye that Angelino does.
It's just a big eye.
Mm-hmm. And he just like. And they have a moment, and then so pretty much Vin and Angelino they get out and they go down and they run into the sewer.
And they run into the sewer and they leave, and they end up in like purple gang.
Mm-hmm. And then the white suit is there in the apartment, and he's like, "The abomination did this." He's angry, and his power will stay dormant, and he's a ticking time bomb that needs to be extinguished before he explodes. But so we're like.
Yeah, we get my second favorite character after they enter
the wrestlers
territory. No, that was the third favorite character. Second favorite character is gangster that quotes Shakespeare.
We're not there yet. We got the wrestlers locker room that comes up next.
Yeah, true, but I don't really. The dude's like, working with El Diablo is getting harder because. Whatever reason, and he's like, "Look at this. This is a sign." He's like, "My blood looks like a cockroach."
The tiger dude and the other dude are talking about signs that the things could be happening. Tiger dude's like, "You're over. You're worrying about it. There's nothing's gonna happen." And then El Diablo comes in, which is like the leader.
I don't know, but he's a demon person for some reason.
Look, there's a tiger dude and a demon person.
I don't understand it.
And then, like later on, when we see the wrestlers, doing their thing, there's like one that's like a pint size, and it's like a little gremlin.
No, you didn't see him. He was on the show.
I didn't see him in the locker room. I didn't see him.
No, he's not in the locker room. He's on the TV wrestling.
Oh, I didn't see that. No, well, we find out these guys are guardians. Yeah, and they've been protecting humanity
since the time of the Aztecs. Since the Aztec times.
Yeah.
The Jaguar and the Eagle clan, and that's when we get like each generation has its own duties and blah 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 blah. And the generation of the 1940s punched Hitler, And that was when I was like, I want to see that movie. I want to see the movie of freaking luchadors fighting the Nazis. Where is that movie? I'm making it. I have to now. Because that sounds like the most entertaining thing in the world.
Best of luck to you on that one.
Would you not watch that?
No, I wouldn't.
Why? Why
it sounds like a lame cash grab.
It sounds hilarious.
That's why I didn't watch Abraham Lincoln Zombie or Vampire Hunter or whatever it was. That sounded really lame.
It's funny. It's funny.
I don't have, like, if I had more time, if I had disposable time, then I would. But I am always busy. Like, just so anyway, we get the story time, and then we go to the boss and the woman we saw at the start. It's a flashback, and he's talking. He tries to take the baby. It was a doll. She tricked him. And the baby's actually in the dumpster, and pretty much she gets shot.
It's honestly unimportant.
She gets shot. Well, I'm summarizing it, incredibly summarizing it. So she gets shot, and we see the demon dog, like, eyeball hanging out of his socket. This part's kind of important. And he picks up the baby out of the dumpster.
Well,
and
it's not really shown if he picks up the baby or not. He just
you see the teeth, like, it gets the baby. But obviously Angelina lives, because otherwise we wouldn't have a movie. So, and then it's the white suit that shoots her, and he's like, the bitch was playing us. So, obviously there's something, going on. They building it. It's all build up.
Yeah, but it didn't really...
And then back to current events, and Lino's calling Willie, and he's looking for another place to hide out, because they're in this really bad neighborhood, and they're scared. They're like in a Latino-ish neighborhood.
No, it's not.
No?
They're not in. No,
they're not in a
neighborhood. That's the Purple Gang neighborhood.
That's right. The grapes. The grapes and the limes.
The grapes and the limes. Yes,
what could those possibly stand for? But we're not getting
the Purple Gang and the Green Gang. Yeah.
So, and Willie's just trying to shit this whole time. It's kind of funny, but it was just cringe at the same time. Willie's trying to drag the phone.
That's why I didn't care about that scene, because it doesn't
He's trying to drag the phone with him to the bathroom. He gets disconnected, so
that
whatever.
Scene did not matter. Because they end up going to the house anyways.
This is your other favorite character. The leader of the grapes, yeah?
The leader of the grapes, who has kill on his stomach. He's a tall, very tall man, very fat, gangster with, the purple mask, black eyes for some reason, because, the guy in the white suit also has black eyes. I don't know, it's just a thing in this world. And he just quotes Shakespeare.
Yes.
And I love him.
And the gangs just started confronting them, and then the line comes in, does a drive-by, and then they can get away.
Yeah, and then he starts, chasing after them and shooting after them.
So they get into an abandoned house, and they turn on the news, because the TV totally still works, and...
Yeah, they're wanted criminals for murdering police officers.
Yeah, the murdering of the police officers, the TV blows up, and Lino's roaches are coming. We see a little scene, because Lino was missing his roaches, his pet roaches,
that's weird. Yeah, there's a payoff to it, but it's just...
Yeah, there is, but it's also signifying how shit this world is. Where, normally people have cats and they have dogs. He's got roaches, so...
That's how shit this town is. But moving on, we can... So much, doesn't happen for a while. It's...
Okay, then where would you like to pick up?
I don't know, I don't really remember,
So the white suits come, and they get in a shootout with the gang... And Lino and Vin, they run, and...
I'm not skipping over this part. This is one of my favorite scenes. Big fat dude takes out two, high caliber, military grade machine guns, and he's like, all the world's a stage, and we are merely players in it.
Yeah.
And White Suit shoots him in the face because he's like, to be or not to be. Blow! I can quote Shakespeare too.
And then as this fight goes on, we see one of the suit dudes turn into
weird
shit, weird tentacle monster, shadow tentacle monster.
Angelino steals an ice cream truck,
and he can't drive a clutch, which was a little fun. I found that entertaining.
Well, I don't know.
Well, he didn't know how to do it very well. We have a car chase, and the only weapons they have for a good minute is ice cream.
Very twisted metal. I mean, you got a guy with a flaming head in an ice cream truck. This is the most twisted metal thing ever.
It
Which
is.
and developer movie makers, don't think I did not notice the flaming clown head mug later on in the movie. I noticed. You
Look, they
knew it
had
was a
fun
Twisted
making
Metal
this movie.
reference.
Clearly,
You knew.
yes. Clearly, they had fun with this movie. And honestly,
this was the chase scene is what made me believe this was GTA or Saints Row the movie.
So he's throwing ice cream at them, and he takes out a couple cars with the ice cream. Then they find a gun, and he gives it to Vinny, and Vinny just wastes all the bullets.
He's like, see if it's loaded. Boom. And then they drive past they drive past a cop while he's shooting out the window, and cop's eating a hot dog, and he's just like, "Oh boy, time for a chase." Doesn't call it backup, by the way. Terrible.
No.
You know, officer, first freaking rule, call it backup, especially when you see two people in a stolen ice cream truck firing a gun. Seems like first thing you do is call backup.
So they go
follow the MIB.
They go all over town, and then finally they get away by launching the ice cream truck off of, like, what is that?
Crashing
like, the levee?
It's the barrier to the LA River. That's the LA River. It's the LA River.
Yeah. And they launch the ice cream off, and they somehow live. And then the cop, they like the not the cop, but the white suits try to follow him, and they crash.
They crash into the thing. They die.
They turn to goop.
Yeah, they turn to goop. They escape. Friggin' white suit shows up. He's like, we got to get those kids.
You guys are in a world shit of Lino can tell machos. That's the first time we heard that mentioned. Machos from humans, and they still be searching. So now they're at a motel. We're at a motel.
No,
we see the one suit that was
crashed
between.
Yeah, he's like upset, and he's got like a gun. He's like trying to hunt down Angelino.
Yeah, he wants his revenge for Angelino and stuff.
Yeah, I don't.
And we see him just like lots of guns, and we see the news about the grapes and lines are joined forces against the police, and there's a huge colony of cockroaches on the move, and the luchadors are also watching, and they're like, stuff's going on.
It's not the police they should be going after, it's the men in black, but whatever. Those are the ones that got shot at them. It's like when the FBI shoots at you.
They don't know.
I don't know.
And so now Skull and Lino make a really stupid decision, and they go to the deli because they're hungry.
Yeah, and they see, I guess her name's Luna?
Yeah, the girl there.
The girl, and she's like, dude. He's like, let's go inside. He's like, trust me.
He tells her everything for whatever reason.
This is all this.
And she believes them.
Well, yeah, because the literally next thing is that they come out and they're like, you should have thought with your brain and not with your dick.
Yeah, and she's obviously in league with the suits because he's like, you did good.
But this is what I mean, like, the way she looks, the voice that she has is so different from how she looks.
Yeah, you're right. And so then, like, Lino tries to go his Super Saiyan thing, but the suits grab
kills
the
dude with a
butter knife.
So.
Yeah, but the dude grabs Vin. He grabs him.
Yeah, they get captured.
Yeah.
Lino's
get captured.
Getting, like...
He has a little bit of a vision thing, like I'm skipping over my notes. He has a little bit of a vision with the dog and the girl and the mom that really just added more questions, but we'll get them answered later on, so I'm skipping over it. So Lino wakes up in like a machine, and he's all plugged into like a restraint, and he's like hovering. Did you get the symbolism? He's very subtle.
He's not hovering at all. He's in a chair.
Well, no, but he's like the chair is suspended in like this big machine.
But he's
thing.
just sitting in the chair.
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
It's not really the visualism.
The
visual that you want, it's not there.
I felt it was a little bit. Disembodied voice of scientist, and they're all watching, and he learns that this voice is named Mr. K. No, but there's scientists watching. No, Mr. K is not a scientist, but there's scientists watching.
His name is Mr. K because this movie couldn't have an original thought, apparently. And they named the MIB guy Mr. K.
Anyway, and he's a Machos, a rare race born from the dark matter of the universe. Lino is half human, half macho, and Lino's dad broke the rules.
Father was a macho.
Yeah, and their race is the master race, and humans drag him down, and Mr. K's like, well, we're going to put you back in your cell, and you have to kill your friend.
Yeah, the
and
movie
ridding
got a
himself
little
of your
preachy
ties
here.
to humanity. Yeah, like it was a long
Yeah.
story time. I majorly summarized it.
The
Remove
movie gets
yourself
preachy a few times.
remove your ties to humanity and kill your friend. And
Yeah,
then
kill your friend, and
he
then
wants
they
to give
send
you
him
your
Luna.
rightful place.
Yeah, they send
And
him
there's some
Luna,
sort of
and
brainwashing thing happening, and Luna comes
I
in,
don't.
yeah. And
She
she's like
takes his
encouraging
hand.
him to embrace his real nature.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, she
fighting
takes
is
his.
useless. We're everywhere, countrywide, cops and government. We feed off the negative energy from mankind, and
Yeah.
like Lino's body starts pulsing with like little tentacles during this, and we
And
get
he
some
turns
flashbacks
into
of.
Block Arm.
We get flashback. Now here's a flashback that's actually important to mention. We find out, which obviously, if you didn't know by now, I'm gonna slap you. That dog is his dad. The dog,
Yeah,
demon dog, is his dad. That was the macho.
Well, because you get that after, like, in the scene when the dog shows up and he calls the dog a betrayer. You're like, why is a dog a betrayer? And then it's like, you're half macho, and you're like, that's why the dog's the betrayer.
Yeah. And Luna's like, this is one part. Did Luna see his memories? Because she's
I don't
like,
know.
something changed in Luna at that point.
I
It was right there. And even later on, she goes, "Oh, you showed me." So she had to have seen his memories. She had to have.
know.
Because she starts
that whole
crying.
thing was unearned. Yeah, she starts crying. She backs away. Very ugly drawing, though. Very ugly.
Look, like, it's supposed to be gritty.
Not good. Not good.
So they say he's ready to go back to his cell, and they let him. And if Vin isn't dead in the morning, kill them both.
Yeah, and
so,
then he
the white suit's like, he's too powerful, let's kill him now. And Mr. K's just like, we're not like humans. We don't like killing our own kind unless we have to.
We treat our own kind as sacred.
Yes. I felt that was an interesting little thing there. But they throw their own kind into certain death without blinking another eye. They just don't kill their own kind.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Luna, we find out Luna...
Technically, they're not throwing their own kind. Technically, they're throwing synthesized hybrids.
You're right.
So technically,
we find out.
Yeah, they're worse.
We find out Luna's also a hybrid. Her father had lied to her, saying she could never leave the facility because the world outside, you can't live out there. And so she has a little altercation with Daddy, and he gets mad at her. And she's like, he's like, you see that life that he's living? That's not living. But, you know, it was. Lino was living and enjoying his life.
No, he wasn't. He hated his life.
But would you rather be locked in that facility or have the little bit of freedom that Lino had? He could have done anything and went anywhere. That's not what Luna saw part of it.
He's still not wrong. I mean,
no, he's not. But
Angelino did not have a very good life. That's the whole point. He grew up an orphan and couldn't hold a job, and he lived in an apartment where his only freaking pet were cockroaches. Then
we see someone's coming in a van following the cockroaches. It's our wrestler friends.
It's the wrestlers.
They're following the cockroaches to a very obvious pointed, like, shadow demon tentacle horns.
You mean the mountain that looks just like their shadow?
Yeah, that mountain.
Yeah, it's so secret.
We go to Vin and Lino. Vin's trying to break out of the cell, and Lino's thrown in, and he's like all tranced and acting weird.
He tries to choke him. Tries to kill him. Doesn't kill him.
Vin describes how, but I found it funny that Vin's like, man, they ran so many tests on me. They tested my junk, dude. Like, that was fun. I found that entertaining.
I would have liked it better if the voice actor was a little better.
That's fair, but I still found it entertaining. And so he's strangling Vin, and then he nearly kills him, and then Vin calls him friend, and he comes back to himself, and he starts crying and apologizing. I'm a monster, you know, that whole thing.
Whatever. Guards try to break in, they yell at him, he busts the door down, kills one of the guards,
he fucks up the guards.
Then he starts, like, crawling on the walls and doing weird crap, and the wrestlers break in.
Can we say poor Vin at this point? Because, like, he's still kind of following Angelino around, but he's also terrified. Like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do in Vin's position?
I don't know, he's just useless throughout the whole movie. I also don't understand why he's a skeleton. That's never really explained.
Look, there's a lot of weird things. Mr. K is watching, by the way, and he's pleased.
It does not.
So the luchadors are here now, and they're coming. Oh boy, Lord, they're coming. And the scientists, we kind of find out that the scientists are being held prisoner here as well. We have a riot attempt, but only one scientist actually was willing to fight and try to get loose. The rest of them are just beaten dogs.
This part's just over. It doesn't need to be explained that much because it's just Riot happens. That scientist escapes. Angelino's crawling on the walls. Vin tells him, you can stay on the ceiling if you're comfortable there. Cops show up and they're like, then they get wrestled down because the wrestlers literally use human shields.
Pretty much.
Angelino passes out, gets saved by
the
luchador. They leave. There's a little bit of flashbacks, and you find out from the little flash forwards, and he's like slightly awake, slightly not, and the freaking scientist is just like, they caused global warming and greenhouse gases and blah blah blah, because they can't stand the cold, so they wanted to raise the Earth's temperature. And then we cut to the wrestlers are building a nuke using the van in the desert
with the scientist.
That's
so
the movie.
Lino, he wakes up and he's been himself. He's been out for 3 days, and they're trying to save the world with their rocket.
I guess, I don't know. Vin helps Lino escape. They escape into the desert.
They run. They're not choosing sides. They just want out.
Yeah.
And then there's
Facebook luchador is like, they left. He's got an F symbol. He looks like the Facebook symbol. He's Facebook luchador. They leave. So then
we still see our one rogue suit guy, the dumpster dude. He's still out hunting.
Yeah, he's still out hunting. They have a ticket to Tijuana because they're like, everybody escapes to Mexico. That's what you do when you run away. And then they call Willie with their last dollar.
Which they should not have.
Which he's being manipulated by black suit
dumpster
man.
Suit guy.
Yeah,
yes.
And he's just like, say these things, and he's just like really bad at it, and he's just basically ends up being like, you got to come here, you need to. So they're like, we got to go see Willie, and he gets thrown in the bathroom and locked in, and he's like, well, they better show up, you better hope they show up. And he's got like a sniper
and then
rifle.
Lino and Skull do get there, and they're harassed by the neighborhood Willie's neighborhood
gang.
People. Yeah, the Latino gang outside.
Yeah, the Vagos.
Why did he decide it was a good idea to wear that very stereotypical sombrero to that neighborhood? Why?
I don't know. Probably thought he'd blend in, but when you're like literally pitch black wearing a sombrero, and wearing a fake beard, you can't blend into anywhere. That just makes you more obvious. I lost Angels.
Hold on, I'll be back in just a second. Can you hear me? Am I back?
Yeah.
We good?
Yeah.
Okay. So then the sniper dude tries to take a shot and hits one of the gang members.
Hits one of the gang members, so they start firing back, so he gets shot. They use this opportunity to go and get their buddy out of there. Nobody cares.
And then there's also the rocket launches at this point.
Yeah.
There's a police chopper that's watching the shootout, and Lino made it to Willie. They get in there, they make it to him. The rocket's taking off. There's a bunch of things that happened all at the same time.
Rocket explodes. Helicopter goes down.
And then once it starts to rain, and the rocket was used to modify the weather.
I guess because they're like, it didn't work, and he's like, you just got to get, all it's doing is raining, and he's like, you just got to give it time to cool down, because apparently the machos literally will die in the cold, so they need to make it cold.
They freeze solid, which we start seeing a bunch of them freezing solid. Even the president himself apparently was a macho.
Yeah, apparently the president was a macho, and he freezes, and like Angelino's sort of like freezing to death.
Yeah, he's not. And Luna shows up.
Yeah. Luna shows up and kisses him. An unearned romance.
She kisses him, and it warms him up.
Why does she kiss him? There's
literally... Not Lino, but Vin is very angry at her. He tells her to fuck off, pretty much, and within reason. He
has a point.
Yes.
This romance is unearned. It's just all of a sudden, and I literally paused because I was like, unearned.
But she's grateful to him for showing her that she could live outside. She could have a life outside of the facility, a life outside of that. She has her little thing where she says that, but.
She already fucking did. She left all the time.
So White Suit is there, and he kicks him, and the gangsters try to stop him, and then he just kills all of them.
Yeah, and then they get into a fight, and Vino's like, you Hulk out, man. You gotta Hulk out, and he's like, no. Yeah. He's like, Dad said to be my true self, and blah blah blah.
And he's also
blah,
afraid
blah.
of being the monster, and because he almost tried to kill him, and that age old, this power is dangerous, so I'm not going to use it instead of learn how to use it properly.
Because it doesn't matter anyways, because they're saved by Shakespearean gangster.
Yeah. But I did like Vin's line. He's like, I don't want to be controlled by it. And Vin is like, sort it out in therapy.
Yeah. It's a good line, sort it out in therapy.
It's like, save your life now, sort this shit out in therapy later.
But I did like the day was saved by Shakespearean gangster.
Did you notice why, like, okay, let's give Vin some credit. He tries to pick up a gun, he tries to help. He misses. As people would who don't know what the heck they're doing. Willie just freaking runs. Willie's
a shit character that was only good for barfing and shitting himself.
Pretty much. And
getting them into a gang house. Getting them into a gang house somehow. But anyways, yeah, so the movie ends with Angelino writing a letter to Luna.
Whoa.
Why?
Whoa, hold on. So, they're fighting the white dude. And the grapes does save him, and then Lino's alone, and he's like freezing cold again. And the luchadors are just like, yeah, mission accomplished, we're going home.
Yeah.
And then we have 2 months later. Like, you skipped some things there. Like,
I did nothing important.
The white suit, that was cool because the white suit got riddled with bullets and shot in the eye, and that was good shit.
I literally said the Shakespearean gangster shows up and he's like, eye for an eye, boom.
Okay, yeah, you did say that. That's
yeah.
Good. And then, okay, now 2 months later, Lino's okay. Somehow he made it out of that situation.
Vino got a job working at the restaurant. Willie's a rapper, I guess, and then
pop music.
Angelino writes love letters to a girl who he doesn't know her address. He just writes them and throws them as an airplane, and I was just like, you know nothing about this woman. Why 2 months? Move on. All you saw was, dang, that girl hot, and you literally cannot move past that. That's all you have.
He got
That's all he has.
So if the paper plane, he throws it out the window and it flies to the city.
It flies to the moon. Because her name is Luna.
And there's some heavy symbolism there, huh?
Yeah.
And then we find out the Mucha boss is Mr. K. He's got a base on Moon.
The moon is...
And he,
yeah.
Sending spaceships to Earth.
Moon is not real. Moon is a spaceship.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. Well, the whole moon was a spaceship.
The moon works for the bourgeoisie, just like the birds.
No, the moon works for the weird race made out of dark matter, which I don't understand how that works, but whatever.
But that was the movie MFKZ's. If you guys have not seen it, or motherfuckers, if you guys have not seen it, check it out. Obviously, shouldn't have watched this if you haven't seen it.
I don't know.
What is your thoughts? Give us some final thoughts, and then we'll rate it.
I don't know. I don't know what the fuck I watched. I don't know what the fuck I watched. It's just, I have so many questions. I have so many questions that are never answered. I don't know what I watched. Man, it was like watching Promare, but not as fun. Like, Promare was like fun and weird, and this was just like weird and it was kind of missing on the fun part of it.
No, I enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed all of it. It wasn't the best movie I've ever seen, but it really came across as what they were trying to do. Dark, gritty, and dangerous. That's what they were. They beat that, pound that into your head, and they did accomplish that. They wanted to tell this weird story, and they did. And I was okay with this movie.
I feel like they fell flat in too many areas. There was too much stuff that it was there for no reason. Like subplots that went nowhere, character motivations and characters that were kind of pointless. Like, in all honesty, freaking cat dude Willie was pointless character.
No, because he was used as a plot device. For a couple times. He was used as a plot device.
Everything he did could have been done by accident. Finding
yeah,
the gang hate out.
Personally, I would rather have the reason than accident, because no one just accidentally does all these things. That's something that always bothers me in movies and shows, is that no one just accidentally does this. No one just accidentally does that. Like,
here's my point entirely. Here's my point entirely. So many moments could have been removed or changed. Willie was unnecessary. You literally could have, when they escaped through the sewer tunnels, they could have just like gone into this neighborhood, laid low, found an empty house or found an abandoned house to hide in. Willie was unnecessary because the house is like literally destroyed immediately. Their comfort is destroyed immediately, so it didn't really. There was no point. They didn't hide out for a while. They hid out for like 5 minutes before moving on. And so that's what I mean.
I see what you're saying, but personally, I like the way it was done. Personally, I see what you're saying.
I didn't like it. I didn't like it because it didn't serve a purpose. It just served to get to Shakespearean gangster whose purpose was to come back and kill the guy.
Clearly the gag character. Okay, the movies like this, it gotta have one.
Vin didn't really do anything at all throughout the whole movie.
Vin. I liked
But he didn't
Vin.
do anything.
But he was. That's the point. He was there. Anything. He was just a normal dude caught in all this craziness.
It's bad storytelling.
No one has to be special or super to take part in this story.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing with Vin. He was not special. He was not super. His purpose was being Vin's friend. Or Lino's friend. He was caught in all of this.
But
no, I liked Vin in the movie. I liked Vin in the movie because his really purpose was he was just your average Joe. He gave something for the viewers to associate with.
I didn't associate with him.
I did, because he was just this average dude.
Angelino was this average dude.
Run of bad luck. But Angelino was. But no, he had the powers. He was half-breed. Yes, it does.
It doesn't matter. He's the character that you relate to because he's the character that has the bad luck and stuff. Angelino is just the same thing but without powers.
But look, it was Misery Loves Company. That was his
buddy. What does Angelino accomplish in the movie?
Does he have to accomplish something? Is there a written rule somewhere that he has to?
What? Yes, story. But writing.
You go on and on about writing all the time. Like, it was still a good movie. It has decent ratings.
I don't care about the ratings because I don't care. I don't, because it's about me and my preferences. And look. People will like shit just because it's popular, or people will like shit just so that they look better. If you look at like Rotten Tomatoes, you'll also see some things high critic scores. Critics love it, but fans hate the crap out of it. I don't care what other people have to say because other people's opinions don't really matter all the time.
Yeah, I'm looking at Rotten Tomatoes right now. The tomato meter, whatever, I think that's probably ratings, is 39%, but audience is 82. People enjoyed it. It was not an awful movie.
That doesn't mean it's not an awful movie.
What? Well, who makes that choice though? It's the individual viewer.
The individual.
And we're talking about a consensus. So
I don't
majority
care about
rules.
Consensus.
Well,
we're not a consensus. We are you and me individually rating this movie, and then our individual ratings are the only thing that matter. Unless you want to go with like what everyone else rates it, which I don't think it's an 8 out of 10.
Well, that's you. I enjoyed the movie. Okay, let's. How many shadow tentacles out of 10 do you give this movie?
Like 3 or 4.
I'm gonna give it a 7. I enjoyed it.
Art is bad. I didn't like the art. The voice acting.
I would give it an 8 if the art was better. I watched dub anyway, so voice acting. Voice acting.
No, voice actors. They had a couple of good ones and a couple of ones that literally completely pulled me out of it because they weren't good, and that pulls me out of it. When you have, like, if you see a movie with a bad actor, like you have like one good actor and you're like, oh yeah, and then you follow it up with a bad actor, that immediately ruins the immersion. It takes you out of it
not so
because you
much
have
for
to
it
deal
depends.
with
It depends.
And then we
See,
have
the
plot lines that go nowhere
Vin's
or
voice acting
or
didn't
purposeless.
destroy it for me. He did. It
It's
didn't. It was a little bit like, oh well, that's okay, and then I moved on because I was still invested in the movie. Wasn't focusing on those little details.
Though when you okay, here's the thing. When you put me in this situation, and in this is the sort of situation where we watch these movies and then we have to be we talk about them and we judge them and we rate them. That means that I'm going to start looking at these movies through a critical lens and a critical mindset. And when I do that, I become the person that looks at this and goes, the artwork was not good. It pulled me out of it. There was a lot of moments where it looked really ugly. There was some moments where it was good, but I don't care. You can say it's style all the time, or that's the point. The point of it looking ugly. I don't like ugly.
It was ugly. I agree with you. It was ugly. It was gritty. I'm not a big fan of the art style either, but that was the point of it.
I don't care. Points knocked off.
I would have probably, if it was all gorgeous, I would have given this movie an 8.
Points knocked off.
It's one of the better movies I've seen.
The art style is
in our lineup.
There's inconsistencies in it. There's weird moments where there's like weird characters that don't match the world at all. Like even within that world, there's like the characters that like the newscast character that was like didn't freaking look like anyone in the rest of the world. He looked like a cartoon character, like a literal like in that world would have been a cartoon, but he was a real person. So it draws me out of it because it doesn't have the world itself does not have consistencies. It's an inconsistent world, and that takes away points from it.
And it's only in visuals, though.
The voice acting takes away points from it for me. The moments where there's a lot of unanswered questions. There's a lot of like there's a lot of moments that don't really go anywhere. The unearned romance, like it was not earned. It came out of nowhere. It made no sense. It was just weird. It was weird. And I didn't care for that.
I'm finding this entertaining that this movie was clearly more of a men's action flick, if you will, because my husband likes to watch really stupid movies that I don't. This one, and you're the one that's not defending it, and I am defending it. I find that funny.
I liked Bad Boys. I liked Bad Boys too. I liked those movies that were like, I liked certain gangster movies. Like I liked Once Upon a Time in Mexico. That was a really good film. And the thing is though, is that those were done well. And this one was just kind of like a hodgepodge of a bunch of stuff. It didn't really feel like it knew what it wanted to be. And
well, that's what it wanted to be. It wanted to be a little bit. It wanted to show the diversity of the city, that everyone was different, but it was still all shit. That's what I got from this. And as I said, we can sit here and argue about it all day, but I'm gonna give it 7. It would probably get a little bit higher for me but look, it was accomplishing. It told its story. It didn't showed the gritty. What part did it not tell?
It didn't tell its story because it doesn't even nothing is accomplished in the end. Nothing is accomplished.
But
none of it mattered. In the end, none of it mattered. You don't get a satisfying ending. You don't get a lot of explanation.
It's a movie that's more realistic than a lot are. No one ever gets their happy ending. Like that happens. This is more modeled off of the gritty little bit of I don't care what you want. It's a movie. This is what it was. Enjoy it for what it was, and that's okay.
What it was not good.
Then you can say that. You can say you didn't like it. It wasn't good. That's fine.
What it was
I liked it for what it was. That's
pointless nothing.
Most movies are pointless nothing to me.
No, most movies
I at least enjoyed this joyride.
Most movies are like have purpose and character development.
Enjoyed
and structure
this
and points.
Silly stupidity joyride, dark gritty adventure. I enjoyed it. Would I watch it again? Probably.
Promare was that. Promare was a weird, wacky adventure that took you to places.
But Promare had the adventure, and it had our handsome protagonist, and it had. But this is nothing
Promare
to do
also
with Promare.
Answered
it's a completely
questions.
Different tone. It's a complete.
No, that's no. It's not a different tone at all. It's the same tone. Weird, surreal, wacky adventure.
No, because Promare, our lead character, was fighting to save the world and save people. This dude was just fighting to be alive. That's all he wanted to do, so he accomplished his goal. It was the luchadors. Like, the luchador story was fighting to save everybody.
Yeah.
Angelina was just trying to stay alive.
Yeah. But even
and they did accomplish it. They froze all the ones that were on Earth. They killed a lot of them.
No, they didn't. They didn't.
Yes, they did.
They didn't.
There was that whole scene where they killed. What showed you all the ones freezing, like the president.
Okay, did you forget
on
the last
moon.
moment?
Obviously, they're not going to kill them all because they can set up for a sequel.
Thousands of ships, yeah.
They can set up for a sequel.
So it didn't matter. That's what I mean. It didn't matter because the nuke didn't save the world. The nuke saved the city. Remember, it literally did not extend to the world.
Well, there was the president just randomly in that city.
Probably because he was on a plane.
Look, I don't think so, but we could sit here and argue about this whole time. But check it out for yourself if you guys have not seen it. DC did not like it. If you guys liked it, if you watched the movie and you liked it, hit us up in the Discord. Let us know. If you guys thought the movie was trash as well, that's fine. At me for this. And if DC's wrong, then at him. That's fine.
It has
We're
a
okay
48.
with that.
Metacritic has it at a 48%. So Metacritic has it as a.
I thought we weren't caring. I thought DC. I thought we weren't caring
about.
You
want
to
bring up
think.
Scores?
I thought we weren't caring about what critics.
You
want
to bring up scores? I brought it up.
DC, shush. We've been going on about this too long.
Yeah,
but
I don't recommend the movie. That's all. That's where I'm ending it.
I do. If you want just a little bit of silly, crazy adventure, watch it.
Watch Godzilla instead, where they blow up Godzilla. That's more interesting.
That wasn't a bad movie, but honestly, I'd prefer to watch Motherfuckers again. Honestly,
I'd rather
more things happened. More things happened.
I'd rather
Godzilla
just
was
watch.
Just so much
I'd rather just
slow.
watch the last. I'd rather just watch the last 30 minutes of Godzilla. The last 30 minutes, which was just the fight and them exploding Godzilla.
Anyway, thanks for watching our post show, guys. Thanks, and once again, thanks for being Patreons. Thanks for being awesome. And we'll see you guys next week. What's our movie for next week again?
I have to pull it up again. But our movie for next week is Weathering with You.
Weathering with You. I think that's a romance, so you know how DC and I feel about romances. So yeah, as long as there's no Little Mermaid underage girls involved, I guess we'll be okay, right?
Maybe.
Come here. Want to see a kitty before we go? Come here. Are you not gonna camera shy? Look, it's a kitty! Oh, I almost dropped the kitty. He did a wiggle.
Don't do that. You're gonna be the next Alinity.
No. Here's a kitty. Okay, guys.
Right. See you later, guys.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye. Go away, kitty.